For us at Motor AI, public transportation is really interesting for a couple of reasons. So number one, there's the demographic change, so that there's a shortage of drivers. But on the other hand, there's still a huge and a growing demand for public transportation. The second one is that public transportation companies are very interested in offering more modular types of solutions. So not just always like the big buses that we all know, but maybe also smaller, more on-demand kind of solutions. And that's where autonomy really shines. We are a Berlin-based company doing level 4 autonomous driving. Level 4 is where there's no driver anymore in the car, so the vehicle is able to drive autonomously by itself. If it gets into a difficult situation that it cannot safely get itself out of, there is, however, a remote supervisor who can approve maneuvers. We're the only startup that is still doing European-style autonomous driving, and we provide an autonomous driver to fleet operators. As we started talking to public transportation companies, we realized that one of the things that they really need for the passengers is an HMI. It needs to display information about the route. It needs to display some information about the system. We took a look at ourselves, and my own background is from back-end development, and most of the other people that we have are not really graphical experts or anything. And so that's when we thought, okay, we need someone with really good graphical skills, because we need to impart a lot of information as sort of cleanly and as simply as possible so it doesn't overwhelm. And on that we found KDAB. They've been around for like 25 years and experts leading in the field, and so we thought that's a great collaboration partner.
The main problem that we had is that when a passenger arrives into the vehicle, there's no human there. There's no one to interact and to answer basic questions. What we tried to do here was give a point of reference to the user similar to what you would get from a driver. On the 2D aspect, we use Slint. It's the core of the app. It's where we display all of the objects. It's where we deal with the scalability of our solution. We also introduced a 3D component. And the 3D component is mostly to give assurance to the user that the vehicle is aware of its surroundings. It's aware of the position where it is. We can see the buildings right now in a very simple, very calm fashion. And we also show other vehicles. We have an in-house engine that we developed and allows us to do the sort of thing that we're trying to do. The colors on the cars, the monochromatic feel for a very serene landscape. That is all allowed by us controlling the engine. It's very efficient at it. And finally, we just push the texture from that engine into Slint, and we display that to the user. It's one thing to make an app for an iPad. It's a very different thing to make it for an extremely widescreen display, also for a portrait display. And all these displays will be available to us on multiple platforms, multiple vehicles. So one of the cool things about Slint is that it allows us to adjust the UI to all of those screen sizes, all of those aspect ratios. So the experience that the user should have would be in a word, serene, calm experience, almost mundane experience, I hope. This is not about technology. It's about giving the user a sense of calmness.
So looking into the future, we see a lot of potential for this passenger interface. We know that there will always need to be a passenger interface in the car. And now it's just a question of figuring out which features we build in when, in collaboration not only with KDAB, but also our public transportation partners.